Good evening. It is April 2nd, 2020. I guess today's my observations. Um, what you call it? I guess yesterday we. I guess I'll start with yesterday. Yeah, start with yesterday. Yesterday, we went to go pick up my son's laptop from school. I guess the school provided him with laptop so that he'd be able to do his schoolwork. Excuse me. While there, I saw that the teachers, the volunteers did take a lot of precautions. A lot of them were wearing gloves, a lot of them were wearing masks. Um, when filling out the paperwork, you couldn't give it back to them directly. You had to drop it in a box. Um, when they gave you the laptop, they disinfected it, and of course you couldn't have your window all the way down. You could only have it partially down. They would slide it through the crack. Excuse me again. They would slide it through the crack of the window and give it to you that way. Um, uh, I guess moving forward from there, my family, I did, I had to go to the store and get some groceries. My family, they stayed in the vehicle. They don't want to, expose them to anything. They don't want to take them down, and my kids were hungry for lunch, so that made it easier. But since my wife did accompany us, and she's at high risk, because of her pregnancy, I made, she stayed in the car with my children. While in the store, I did go to Kroger's. That's on Loop 288. While there, I did see a lot of older people wearing masks, gloves. Them taking the precautions. As far as the Kroger employee, the staff, they too were taking precautions. Uh, a lot of them were wearing masks. A lot of them were wearing gloves. A lot of them were even keeping social distancing. If somebody was coming out of the aisle, they're standing 6 feet, approximately 6 feet apart from whoever was coming out of the aisle. Or even if somebody was coming in the aisle, they would just move their stuff and go to the next aisle over, or just out of the way, so that way they can keep their distance. Um, yeah, even people, like I said, a lot of people, like a lot of older people, they were wearing masks, they were wearing gloves. Um, as far as items on the shelf that I noticed, there were still restrictions on eggs, restrictions on milk, um, and restrictions on like toiletries, like paper towels, toilet paper, and all that stuff. Cleaning supplies as well too. As far as seeing items on like I said, seeing items on the shelf, bread was out still, but I guess it's kind of been normal these past few days. There was there was eggs, but again, restricted to two per family. The same thing for milk, 2 gallons per family. Um, as far as meat as well, because meat has been kind of scarce, I guess. Yeah, not kind of. It's meat has been scarce to buy at the stores. Sometimes we would have to go to 2 or 3 different stores to even find meat. Um, Meat was as well scarce too, but there was more selections though. Like you can slowly see the buildup of the store replenishing their stock. So that was good. Um, later that day yesterday, I had to go to Winco, which is down in University. I noticed too that they were being well supplied. They were well supplied too. The only exception maybe milk was still out, kind of low, and eggs were a little low. Um, but other than that, they were still well stocked. There was a lot of meat at Winco, um, a lot of canned. Well, not there's some canned foods. Some of the baking stuff like flour was still out. Um, water was plentiful. Towels and toilet paper were out too still at Winco. So it's we're still seeing items in stores down, but we are now seeing a replenishment of those items slowly but surely. As far as people in the stores, there aren't very many people there in the stores. So it's pretty easy, keeping social distancing from other people. Um, as far as today went, um, we we picked up our children's lunch. Not very many people, I guess, today. I guess for yesterday too. There was we've been seeing an increase of families getting lunches from the schools. So, but for today, there wasn't as many as we've seen the last 2, 3 days that we've gone to pick up their lunch. So it's, I guess, just as like on an as needed basis for families. But I'm pretty sure as far as the month goes on, there's going to be an increase of more families needing those services from the schools. We did learn from the school district that they are thinking about putting more lunches instead of, at first they were doing the lunch and the breakfast for the next day, so that way we would only make one trip in a day. Now they're saying that they're probably going to be doing that. They're going to be adding another lunch and another breakfast, so that way we won't have to keep going every day. So we may be going every other day or every 2 days for lunches for children. So it's still up in the air. We don't know yet for sure. As far as observations here on the campus, on the TW Denton campus, it's still pretty dead here. There people are keeping their distance. Not very many people I see coming out. Maybe I'll see one person walking campus and going back into the Gwynn and Stark dorms. Yeah, there's not very many people here living on campus right now. Which is sad because during this time it's very lively, it's very beautiful. It's vibrant. Since it is spring, a lot of activities going on, and there's nothing. It's essentially the Texas Women's University campus it's a ghost town. There is nothing here. There is nothing to do. So my family and I, we have this campus as well as the other families here still living on campus, as well as other students here living on campus. We use this campus almost as our playground, as our excuse me, as our workout area. I've seen a lot of people using the empty parking lot as a track. They'll run, they'll walk, work out in the parking lot. My kids surely do. They ride their bike around in the parking lot. There's no cars, so there's no obstruction to them, so they can go as fast as they want. My son has started taking a liking into doing tricks with his bike, so I think he's getting a practice in that with that. That's a lot. That's pretty much what campus is like. It's very empty. We'll maybe see a custodian walk mostly around the Gwynn and Stark areas. I hardly see a custodian here in the Lowry Woods area, but I know there's probably 2 or 3 that work in this area alone, keeping the area clean. We'll see in the Gwynn and Stark area, and I'm pretty sure a lot more in the Parliament Village area. Excuse me. So yeah. As far as other news, like around here in Texas, that we're getting from our friends in South Texas. Yeah, in South Texas, they are they've set up checkpoints, checking, making sure people are staying at home, quarantine themselves, or staying within their the city limits or even within the county limits. My wife and I, we have a friend that actually has family that lives on South Padre Island, and she told us that to get on South Padre Island, you have to prove residency that you live there. You have to show your ID, your driver's license, a bill, stating that you do live on the island, so that way you can go on the island. They've cut off access to the public on the island only for residents only. So yeah, it's been getting hard. The police have been out in force in South Texas, making stops, giving out citations. But unfortunately, down in South Texas, they're still seeing a lot of people in groups of more than 10, people not social distancing. Some people just hanging out in stores and not taking this crisis seriously. Um, as far as other news around here in Denton, we just read that I guess UNT, University of North Texas, actually has cases of COVID-19, of the coronavirus there. Some are staff members and some are, I believe, one or two are students. I think they have a total of 5 cases there at University of North Texas. It'd be interesting to even see if Texas Women's University even has any cases, but so far the chancellor hasn't said anything. So I guess no cases yet here on campus or within the other campuses in Dallas or in Houston. Excuse me. As far as the Denton State School, there's the cases are rising, and in the Denton State School, more patients are getting sick, and more of the staff members are getting sick. I just read an article as well that the staff members are just quitting. They're not even putting up with it, quitting, resigning, or retiring. Essentially, they don't want to get infected. They don't want to get infected. It's understandable, but it's kind of sad, to hear. So yeah, it's. I think right now the Denton State School has a dropout rate or a retention rate of only 38%. That's really high. That's pretty bad. That's really bad. Excuse me again. I guess going back to South Texas, where I used to work at the Rio Grande State Center, I think they officially got their first case of COVID-19. I believe it's in the ICF side, or the ICF or the IDD side, so it's not in the behavioral health area where I used to work, or not yet there at least. So it's it finally hit that area. But again, down in South Texas, the numbers are rising of cases, and the Harlingen Hospital they're overwhelmed. They have no more beds to offer them, so it's gotten very real down for people in South Texas. I guess coming back, more information up here for the Denton area. The numbers are rising, but more, like I said, more in the Denton State School area. But nothing yet. I believe one article that I did read that we did have our first death here in Denton County because of the COVID-19. I didn't get to read the full article, but we did have our first death. But yeah, I guess it's starting to hit people now. It's starting to hit a lot of people. So as far as my family and I, we're just taking precautions where I'm just the only one going out to the stores, and getting our essential items, coming straight back. So yeah, that's pretty much the information that I have so far for right now. I did get to interview 2 people today. I did get to interview Shanika Guyton, the Family Service Coordinator here at Texas Women University. She's also the coordinator for the clubhouse here in the Lyra Woods community area. I also interviewed a former coworker of mine, Joseph Baker. He's a teacher and a pastor here in Denton. So I got both their perspectives of how this crisis has affected them. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be interviewing my family, getting how it's affected them in Ohio, and continue on. I did send out a plea for help, for anybody who wants to help me, essentially get perspectives of other people, essentially trying to make this primary, secondary source for, future scholars, whoever wants to, study the COVID-19. in in future. So yeah, so I'm trying to get more people. So if anybody out there, whoever sees that message, please reach out. I'd love to hear your stories. Um, so yeah, so that's it for today. Until tomorrow, see you guys later.